morning, everyone. It's Miss Amy. I hope you're all doing very well. I have a book for you this morning. It's really cute. It's called Ricky, the Rock That Couldn't Roll. So you see all these other rocks are round, but Ricky's flat on the bottom. So we're going to read a book about Ricky and just the idea that if you're determined to do something, you can do it. It might not be the way other people are doing it, but that's okay. You can do it in your own unique way and still make it special. Over the lake and out past the bay was a green grassy hill where the rocks came to play. They would race to the top to take in the view. Then they would roll their way down the way rocks love to do. So they're just having the best time. Like when you all are playing and you get really into a game and have a great time. There were Kip and Pip, Chester and Marvin the Boulder. Ignatius played too, though he was much older. Look how cute he is. He's a little bit older of a guy. And a group called the Pebbles never ever sat still, zigzagging their way up and over the hill. So here's all the little pebbles. They kind of rolled down the hill too. Kai was a meteorite and not from this planet. So there's Kai. And Maya was lava, but taken for granted. Stu was the smart one, Parker was the clown, and grumpy old Ebert rolled round with a frown. Gabby was sassy, and Lacey had flair. Emma was giggly, and Hud had black hair. So there's a lot of names there. So Parker the clown, this is Parker, so he's the silly one that tells funny jokes. This little thought bubble here says, "How do you make a tissue dance?" And Ebert's the crabby one. He says, seriously, he doesn't want to answer it. And Lacey says, "You put a little boogie in it." So that was their joke for the day. It's actually one of my favorite jokes. But the one trait that seemed to be shared by them all was that every rock there was shaped like a ball, and because they were round, they could easily roll through the grass past the lake and up over the knoll. So they just loved to roll around all day. And because they were circles, just like a ball, it was easy for them to roll. Except for poor Ricky, who quietly sat. You see, Rick couldn't roll because one side was flat. So he couldn't get the momentum to go down the hill like these round rocks because he was just completely flat on one side. That's just how he was made. His friends didn't get it. "Come roll," they would chant. So Ricky tried and replied, "I'm sorry, I can't." So he just couldn't get his momentum going. Ooh, he would try, but he just couldn't get it going. And he definitely has a sad face on. He looks very frustrated and sad. And I think those are even tears, while everyone else is real happy and having fun. That happens to all of us too sometimes in life. Things that seem to come easy to other people are more difficult for us. And everyone has something that comes easy to them, and everyone has things that are more difficult for them. So always remember that. But the rocks were determined. They were sure they could solve Ricky's flat-sided problem and help him revolve. So Marvin the Boulder, with his impressive physique, carried Rick all the way to the hill's grassy peak. Then he pushed him downhill, yelling, "Keep rolling, kid!" But Rick didn't roll. He just kind of slid. So he never flipped over. He just went down the hill really fast. And his little thought bubble says, "This makes me feel like a bobsled." So he's not having fun. What does this face remind you of? Someone that's kind of scared. And his friends mean well. They just want him to be happy and have fun too. Well, the rocks weren't done, not by a mile. Surely this next try would get Ricky to smile. They stuck rubber balls all over Rick, using big gobs of glue to get them to stick. They were proud of themselves. Excuse me, they said, "This will work," they announced. But Ricky still couldn't roll, and now he just sort of bounced. He was saying, "No good, no good, no good." He's not enjoying himself at all. But again, they're being good friends and really trying so that Ricky can have fun with them too. It's just not working. Well, they pushed and they pulled, trying every way which to get Rick to still roll. But at the end of the day, nothing had worked just like Rick had expected, and he ended up feeling depressed and dejected. Poor Rick. Definitely has a sad face. "It's no use." Ricky sighed. "There just isn't a way, so I'll sit off to the side and watch you all play." Well, nobody wants to do that. That's no fun. But his friends wouldn't quit. "We're here for you, brother, and we'll get you to roll one way or another." So they pondered and thought, each straining his brain, till they looked up and saw it was starting to rain. And that's when it hit the smart stone named Stu. Said, "Eureka! That means I have an idea." He shouted, "I know just what to do." He explained to them how they would get Rick to tumble. "My plan is pure genius." Stu wasn't too humble. So let's see what Stu thinks. So they carried our hero down the road about a mile to the lake where they gathered up mud they could pile on the flat side of Rick, creating a mound that they shaped, smoothed, and sculpted until it was round. So they packed him with dirt, packed him up so his flat part would be round. Then after the rain, with the sun in the sky, they left him to bake till the mud was all dry. They gathered up vines and one colorful feather, then they wrapped it all around Rick to keep it together. Wow, look at Rick. He looks really cute. When the last knot was tied and the work was all done, the only step left was for Rick to have fun. They stood back and watched, feeling nervous and tense as Rick breathed in deep. With increasing suspense, he moved slowly at first, testing out his new world, and then, for the first time, Ricky the Rock rolled! Woohoo! Ricky got in there. He got in the game, and he looks so happy. Look how happy his face is. He kind of looks like a little dolphin in that picture. He's so cute. So Bria, the ladybug, who'd been there from the start, felt a surge of pure joy swell up in her heart. She thought as she watched her friends play on the hill that there's always a way if there's also a will. And she said to herself as Ricky rolled down the slope, when you're surrounded by love, you always have hope. So they were all so happy for him, so proud of him. Everyone's having such a great time. So you all just remember too, when you really want to do something and it's hard, keep trying or try to do it another way, and it will work out. I hope you enjoyed that. Ricky, the Rock that couldn't roll. A great story of determination, and I wish you well.